what are the things that someone like me, a progressive white man, can do to affect positive change?
Read books like this, but then also like have conversations with your female friends and women in your life and listen to them, right? And it's mainly about listening to them, because oftentimes there'll be a situation where a man will say like, I want to hear your experiences of sexual assault, and then a woman will start talking, and then he'll like talk over her or whatever, or or there's that attempt at mansplaining, and the fact is, like, as a man, you do have a fundamentally like different experience of life than a woman has, so it's not really a man's place to kind of read into that and say like, oh well, maybe you were misinterpreting this. Like, no, that is the lived experience, and I think we have to, regardless of if somebody is a victim or a perpetrator, I think we kind of have to accord them like the autonomy of being able to narrate their own life experience in some ways, says the person who just wrote from the perspective of a perpetrator. But yeah, there's listening to women's experiences and not trying to crowd that out and crowd up the space for their voices to be heard. So there's that thing, and then there's also, like, I guess, you might call it bystander prevention, or you might just say like calling out examples of sexism that you see. So whatever, locker room talk, or guys commenting on women and stuff at a party, just calling that out, and and saying, actually, that's not cool. I mean, so those are like kind of fairly passive ways, I suppose. And there's when people can get involved as an activist, people can get involved in kind of changing the different laws that need to be changed, right? But I think just to begin with, just an awareness of these inequalities and a willingness to listen is step one, I suppose. Yeah.
How do you engage with female experience?
By listening and shutting up, I think, is like the really important thing. I think I only really fully understand how to listen well through going to therapy. I think I wasn't very good at that before. And I think that's just because in therapy a person actually listens to you and they model that behaviour. And I think that if you're listening to someone and you're trying to understand their perspective, asking questions in order to better understand what they're saying is fine, but there's a real skill to asking questions and a self-knowledge that's required as well in asking questions that genuinely come from a place of like, I want to understand you better, as opposed to justify yourself to me.
Yeah.
I think that, for example, is a skill that I have kind of had to learn in life in the broadest sense, which helps me when I'm trying to talk to women about their experiences. And just giving them the space to talk, and I think there's something about knowing that you might not ever fully get it, and knowing that you might not have all the answers. But I think there's also something really important about being okay in yourself, but also other people and the world in general being okay with the fact that you might not know everything.